All right, so it's our first YouTube
First YouTube.
with the Boys of Brentwood.
With the Boys of Brentwood.
We got Kyle Amakuchi.
We got Kyle Amakuchi.
I'm Paul Salazar.
Paul Salazar.
Welcome to our YouTube studio.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm super pumped to be here.
We're gonna. Camera,
we can look at the camera. We can look at that camera. We can look at any camera you want.
We're making a point. We'll look in the camera.
Yes. Okay. Sounds good. We're getting really serious. We'll look at the camera. So what are we doing today?
All right. So there are two properties that hit the market in our neighborhood.
Yes.
That we focus in on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Both of them being north of not 50 million.
Not 60 million,
but 68
million, yeah.
So just under 70 million. Yeah. We're dealing with two.
And they just came on the market like almost at the same exact time, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
One has been pitching off market quietly for a long time, so a little bit longer. Yeah. But they both hit the same month. Yeah. There's pros and cons of both of them, and we decided to just talk and show the people what we're dealing with. And
I'm excited about this one.
Buyers are going.
This is your idea, by the way. You're like, let's do a video of the two $68 million projects. I'm like, that sounds awesome.
Let's do it.
So let's do it. All right, so let's start with Firth. All right.
Share your screen if you don't mind, so I can see what you're looking at.
Let's share my screen. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Well, let's talk about the area that obviously Brentwood. This is going to be north of Sunset in Brentwood. It's west of the 405. Obviously, that's what Brentwood is. And then it's going to be, both of these properties happen to be east of Kenter Canyon.
Yeah.
So they're in Brentwood Heights, and then one's going to be more up the mountain, and one's going to be closer into the flats onto Sunset.
So let's start with the
Getty
house.
The Getty.
All right, 684 Firth. We saw this under construction for quite some time as we're walking the streets and talking to all the neighbors. It is quite the property. It's right below the Getty Museum, which is why it's coined the Getty House.
The Getty House.
It's built by a Danish architect that does a lot of projects in New York.
A lot of high-end residential, like condominiums.
Yes, exactly.
So not a couple. I don't know his whole portfolio, but a lot of them are going to be high-end condos in New York City.
Yeah, and his name is Thomas Jewel Hansen. I haven't seen any of the other work he's done here in California, but this is quite the property. It's a sick property. So should we start looking at the photos?
Let's look at the pictures. Let's look at all the marketing we got going on and see what you guys are dealing with.
I think they did a phenomenal job with these photos. I mean, this is an incredible photo of the house.
It is.
Showing you the view. So this house is a view house. I mean, this is what they're selling here. They're selling the views.
They're selling LA of what LA is.
Yeah, exactly. They have views from downtown LA all the way to the Pacific Ocean.
Skyline to the ocean.
Yeah, and the ocean.
Those are the two things.
It's probably one of the best view properties in all of LA. I would say, the top 20 to 30 properties in LA.
Not percent.
No.
20 houses.
20 to 30 houses.
Yeah. 100%.
It's incredible. So let's look through the photos. Well, before we look through the photos, let's talk about just like the main things about the house, right? It's a 6-bedroom house, 9.5 bathroom. Yes, 9.5 bathrooms. 14,000 square feet.
Okay.
So not as big as the other house that we're going to talk about.
Well, let's not compare yet. Let's keep it going.
Not yet.
What more about this house?
It's got over 80,000 square feet of land, but not all of it is flat.
80,000 square feet of land is going to be.
It's close to 2 acres of land. I think
so. An acre is 43,000 square feet.
Yeah,
it's just under 2 acres.
It's 84,000 square feet of land. Yeah.
So just shy under.
But the flat pad doesn't seem to be that whole space, right?
Nope.
So look at this. It's basically a big giant box, but it's mostly glass when it's exposed to the views. Obviously, the other side of it is just all mountain right behind it. But look at these shots. They're incredible. Very sexy house.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's the living room.
That's obviously sunset, so the sun just went down.
Yeah.
These are the views looking over the ocean. If you see a little bit on the right panel, or go back to, if you don't mind. The right panel, that's more of Brentwood and the Pacific Palisades.
Correct. This is facing directly west.
And then the left is obviously going to be more south facing. So you're facing southwest.
And what is this right here?
Full southwest.
That little.
Maybe a little Catalina.
That is Catalina. That is the tip of Catalina.
You definitely can see Catalina. I just don't know if there is Catalina per se.
I think it is. Yeah, it is for sure. Like this is all of Catalina right here. And then this is Palos Verdes right here. Gorgeous.
So you can see the whole bay.
Yeah, look at that.
Or the whole.
It's got a great pool, obviously infinity edge pool. The yard isn't huge, But it's got, I mean, it's big enough to host a pretty big party of a couple hundred people for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, 300-400 people.
And you would want to host.
This is a entertainer's. This is a sexy house.
This is
a very sexy house.
This is a house you are showing off.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like, look at that. I mean, these photos are just, they're very exciting to look at. I mean, look at that. That's and right behind here is the Getty Museum.
Yeah.
So there it is. And when I was looking at the description, they use the same stone travertine on the exterior of the house as the Getty Museum.
Yeah.
So, they're trying to resemble the Getty Museum, obviously.
And it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb if you use some other material.
Correct.
Because the Getty's huge.
Yeah.
Granted, it is beautiful. It's a big piece of architecture.
Yeah.
So if you just throw a completely different piece of architecture up on that hill, it could be really off.
Yeah, for sure.
So it matches.
And you can see right here that it has a rooftop deck the size of the actual, like the second floor. I mean, it's huge.
So assume that rooftop deck is probably like 7,000 square feet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Each floor is 7,000 square feet.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a third floor.
Yeah. There's a floor down below here. Mm-hmm. See, like this right here, and we'll see in the photos, because from the photos you can see that the view there is not as expansive as the main floor, but this is looking completely east. So you have downtown.
Now, do you
Century
get the
City.
mountains of San Bernardino out here?
Yeah, over here. Right back here. You'll get like Mount Baldy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you'll get like the San Gabriel Mountains, which is a little bit more north, but you may be able to from like this edge of the house.
So you get a lot.
You get a lot. I mean, look, we just saw the first 16 photos of the house, all exterior photos. This is the driveway. They just completed this house, I would say, a few months ago.
So go back to that driveway, if you don't mind, with I guess the parking lot is what you want to call it.
It looks like a museum. I mean, look at this. This is not like it looks like a legit museum.
It kind of takes not so much your breath away, but it doesn't look like something of a house.
It doesn't.
It looks more of a almost commercial structure or a building that could fit in New York City.
100%.
It has that modern, very sharp edges, very sharp touches.
Yeah.
It's
like museum quality.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And that's nice because we see a lot of new builds.
Yeah.
And it's the same cookie cutter construction.
Well, you can't cookie cut a $68 million house.
You can't. But we've seen some large new constructions, and you're like, it's the same thing, you know. Love these lights here going upstairs. What are your thoughts on the staging? Be honest.
I mean, I can't hate on it from the pictures, only because we're not in person.
Yeah.
I like the red chairs, kind of bring it out. If you go back, you can also see that these are windows that slide all the way.
These are cool. That is really cool.
These go all the way open. So imagine sitting here with what looks to be 20-foot ceilings.
Yeah.
I would assume it's in the description.
At least 20
feet.
Yeah.
And it opens all the way up. Yeah. So that breeze.
Oh, it's like an air conditioner.
That's great.
Open that up. I mean, I can just imagine some of the parties here are going to be so much fun. Hopefully we'll get invited to one of these days, huh?
Yeah, let's put it out there. So the buyer, when you're looking at this video,
make sure you invite us, the Boys of Brentwood. And let's not forget, if you want more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment down below as well. If you want to, say, hey, like, can you analyze this property for us? We're happy to do that.
Yeah, happy to go through them too.
Because we love this area, we love LA, we love real estate, and we love to analyze.
Yep.
This is the kitchen.
Hashtag Boys of Brentwood.
Hashtag Boys of Brentwood.
Yes. The B.O.B.
Bob. Looks like this is on the second floor, or is it on the same floor as the pool? I don't know. That's probably the primary. You got views out to the Palos Verdes and Catalina. I mean, it's a stunning property. This is facing directly west towards. This is like Tiger Tail over here.
Just out of curiosity, what movie do they have up in that picture?
I don't know. I think this is Iron Man. What do you think?
That's definitely Iron Man.
Right?
For some reason, I thought that was Borat.
Oh, really? Imagine Borat. That'd be hilarious. So this is that one, like, kind of not basement level, because it's not basement level, but it's that lower level that I was telling you about. So this is right off like the pool deck area.
I mean, I don't want to negatively speak on anything. The staging on that room, not my favorite.
Yeah.
Not saying it takes away from anything, but I don't understand the bars or
the
furniture on that.
I wonder who's. I don't know if this is like a stage or if they actually hired like an interior designer for this.
And again, there's no negative. I'm just curious of.
Yeah. It's okay. You can be honest.
I could be honest.
You can be honest.
Not a big fan of that room staging.
Yeah, it's okay. Like I agree. Like in this one as well. I don't know what this is here. This is going to be an office here. I don't know what this space is. But look, I mean, we're just being critical because we're in the business. But this is a beautiful property.
Also,
obviously.
I'm a little salty that I didn't get this listed.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Look at this gym though. Look at that. Yeah. Wow. I'm sure they're going to have somebody come over. Get a private trainer, probably come once a day, do a spin class, do some yoga, do some Pilates. I mean, this can also be like a club.
Well, or like let's say you're a performer. This is your training. This is where your studio is.
That's true.
This is where you have your team come in and practice choreography.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be. So you're dealing with the best of the best.
That's Borat again.
Borat 2.
Every house in this caliber is going to have a movie theater.
Yeah,
100%.
Yes, it is.
And there we go. That's the house right there. I mean, look at this, gorgeous. So this is that one lower level we're looking at right now, and this is probably like the living room, kitchen, and then you got like the primary back up here. We haven't seen the house yet, but we're going to see it at some point here in the next few weeks. Cool. I mean, look, it's stunning. This hot tub looks a little small for the size of the house, but I mean, look, whoever buys this house can do whatever they want to. They're going to have the cash to do it wherever they want. All right. So now that we've seen all the photos of this house, let's go.
Let's do Ocho Manos.
Ocho Manos. Eight hands.
Eight hands is the name of this next one. It's going to be further south. This was actually higher up in the mountain. This one is closer to Sunset Boulevard, which is more in the flats of Brentwood Heights. There are 2 blocks worth of flats. And this is going to be just north of Sunset. So we're going to walk you through Crescenda, which is going to be 11740 Crescenda, coined Ocho Manos.
Ocho Manos.
Ocho Manos. So you want to walk us through the pictures of this, or you want to talk about it a little bit?
No, I mean, look, it's a 20,000 square foot house, so a little bit larger than the other one.
Almost twice as large. That's 6,000 square feet larger.
Yeah,
it's a substantial.
It is a lot. Yeah. It is a lot bigger. It's a different property. It's not the same buyer. I can imagine the same buyer will look at both houses.
I'd hope so.
But it's just to get like a comparison of what their money can buy them. But this is a completely different buyer. I mean, in my opinion, it's an extra 1.5 acres of land as well, and it's completely flat.
3.5 acres.
3.5 acres. I mean,
flat.
In prime Brentwood. Yeah. I mean, this is insane. Like, this is so hard to come by. It's got park-like grounds. Very, very rare in Brentwood. You see more of these properties in like Bel Air.
Yep.
But in Brentwood, there's not a ton of flat land.
There's not a ton of 3.5 acres.
Yeah.
It's 2 parcels.
All in one.
All in one
property.
Yeah.
This is the entrance. So on Crescenda, which is 2 blocks north of Sunset, you have 2 entrances to this house. You have the main entrance, and then you have like the exit of that like.
The house is here. I mean, let's say the house is here. Yeah. It's on Crescenda.
Yeah.
And then you have Chaparral, which is right underneath.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's covering both.
It's street to street.
Street to street.
Yeah.
So you have an entrance from Chaparral and Crescenda.
Yeah.
2 entrances from Crescenda.
Yeah.
And 1 going up from Chaparral.
From Chaparral.
And those are 2 of the most prestigious streets in Brentwood.
Yeah.
And having 3 entrances on those 2 is just
I think the
crazy.
one on Chaparral is probably a service entrance. There's like a little house there. I'm not sure if like what that house is, if it's a guest house or not.
Or security gate.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, to have a house that goes street to street is pretty incredible. It's the only house that actually does that in this area. I mean, look, this is also a different feel. You feel like you're like in Tuscany, right?
It feels like it is more of an estate.
Yeah.
It feels like it would house more than just your family. So you can have live and help.
Look at that. Wow.
It's unbelievable. I mean, look at the amount of grass. and you can see that there's, obviously it's all flat, but you have a tennis court. Yeah. And then if you look if you go to the right a little bit more, it's a basketball court.
Yeah.
But this is a full-on estate. Something that I could rent a room in over in like Arizona. That's just a hotel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's massive. I mean, if this was like a 20-room hotel, I mean, it'd probably be like the Four Seasons. You'd probably be paying like $2,000 a night or something. You know, it's insane. I mean, look, it's like a park. Like, look at this. This has got, it's probably has over an acre of just pure grass.
Yeah.
What do you think the bill is for the water here?
I mean,
at least like
keeping it on this whole time to make it this green,
right?
I don't even, it's a good amount.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a good amount.
I don't think they're worried about the water bill. That's for sure. This photo is looking from the southeast corner to the northwest corner.
Mm-hmm. So you can't really see it here, but if you go back to that, the house that we just spoke about, the road, if you were to follow the basketball court up.
Yeah, we'll do a Google Earth.
We'll do a Google Earth, but it's right north of this.
Yeah, right here.
Almost off the same street.
Yeah. I love that stone. I mean, like, it feels like you're in Italy.
Well, even when you're walking by the house, it's like you can't even see inside,
which is the beautiful part about it. And we'll talk about that.
Talk about that.
Yeah, 100%. We'll talk about that. Look at these grounds.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put a full soccer field here, which would be like my dad's dream.
Yeah.
Dad, I'm not going to buy this house anytime soon, unless, I mean, I'd have to win like a couple lotteries for this thing, right?
No,
just
one. A couple of years, just keep doing what we're doing.
You see, okay, that sounds good.
just keep making YouTube videos about other people's houses. Sounds good. We'll buy this house soon.
And you can tell that it's very well maintained. The owner is a super nice guy. I mean, we've talked to him on the phone.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's been here for a long time. But you can tell, like, he has kept this house up in very, very good shape. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, these big estates, the owner just lets it go, and if you're not constantly maintaining these houses, I mean, they're not going to look as good as this.
It's a lot, It's a
lot of money.
full business to keep this going.
For sure. Yeah, you have to have a house manager. Mm-hmm. You probably have to have a gardener there every single day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is looking, I think, into the pool. That's incredible. Yeah. Wow.
It's almost like the Washington Monument should be on the other side of that pool.
Right. There's only a few photos of the interior.
And I wonder if that's, I know why that is. I don't know, but I could take
You're assuming.
I'm assuming.
Okay.
I don't know if the interior is as drawing as the exterior is.
I agree with you.
And we want to get people in the house as much as possible without showing them too much where they're turned off.
We got a little Botero here. I got to say that he's a Colombian artist.
Okay. That was nice. I would have called that out if you didn't first. Thank you.
Look how cool this like mezzanine level is here.
Yeah.
With like a library up here and piano. I mean, it's beautiful.
I mean, those ceilings alone too.
Look at
hosting a dinner party in the last one.
Oh my God, gorgeous.
So obviously a lot more photos in this one.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bigger property. All right. So this we'll show you guys on Google Map, but this on this left side here is Crescenda, and the bottom part here is Chaparral. Mm-hmm. So this is one big parcel here. That's 3 acres, and this small one here is about half an acre. Just this half-acre lot right here.
Well, look at the house. I mean, this is a half-acre lot, and then the ones that they're blurring out. Well, this just sold. I mean, the ones that they're blurring out they've sold for $10 million in the past.
Oh yeah, yeah. A small like a little half-acre lot,
like a piece of this.
Yeah, and we'll talk about value too, which I think is really, really important. Is like what like do you think there's like a lot of value based on the price as well?
Yeah.
All right. So now that we've seen the photos, let's talk about the pros and cons. All right. So let's start with Firth. All right. So this is the Google Earth view of Firth. This is obviously not a current photo of the house, obviously. No. But this was obviously under construction. Look, pros for sure. The view. It's a view house. That's what you're selling. It's a brand new house as well. It's done by a noted architect. Mm-hmm. It's a sexy house. I mean, very sexy, right? It's a house that you want to show off.
Sex.
Yes.
You're buying the sex appeal.
Yeah, for sure.
Part of it.
It's like almost like and there's not a lot of these sexy houses in Brentwood. It's more of like a family area. This feels more like a Bird Street's house, right?
Yes. Well, I wouldn't say there's not a lot of sexy houses in Brentwood. There's not a lot of sexy Brentwood houses, in my opinion, that are on display. Yeah. This is seen.
Yeah, for sure.
So people can see it. It's not behind hedges. It's a view house, which means people can see you. So it's a sexy house that people are able to admire.
Yeah. We'll also talk about Scooter Braun's house on Mandeville Canyon. That's a sexy house.
That's a sexy
That's
house.
a sexy house as well, right?
What's a sexy house?
Yeah. I think the other pro is that you only have one neighbor, right?
Yeah,
So
that's definitely a
right
pro.
here is the only neighbor you really have here. So when you're throwing a party, which this house is going to be throwing a lot of parties, I'm not sure if this neighbor is going to be very happy. But it is what it is. I'm sure they'll get invited to the party. But this is the house right here. I mean, look at that.
This house is also a lot older, the one underneath it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they both share a, I would say, quote unquote driveway.
That is a con. So should we start talking
Yeah.
about cons?
I mean, we can
Let's
go.
do it.
We're going through it right now.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. So for sure, a con is
sharing a driveway with this house here.
Yeah. So let's go here, right here. This long thing right here. This is actually street, driveway, whatever you want to call it. It feels like a driveway because it's really narrow.
Well, you can zoom
can't
in.
fit.
Look how many cars are parked in there. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah. I can't zoom in because it'll go into street view.
But you could see how many cars you can fit in the driveway.
Yeah, you can probably fit what, like 10 cars?
Yeah.
Not a lot for a house of this size when you're throwing a party of 500 people. So make sure that you guys Uber. If you're watching this video and you're going to the party here, make sure you Uber. Yeah. Because otherwise,
also, we'll take it to another con. Don't bring your higher end sports car that has no height.
Yeah. Because down here it's a pretty steep entrance to the driveway, but you're surrounded by some of the like this also property right here. I think this is owned by Lawrence. He's a producer. This is also one of the best view properties in Brentwood.
Yeah, that's top 20 as well.
But this is a little bit higher. This has better views, for sure. But it's also one of the cons that a lot of people can see inside of it, right? So let's talk about that. What streets can see right into this house?
I mean, basically anything west on the ridge.
Yeah, anything down below here on Bundy can see kind of right up into the house. And then if you're on Tiger Tail, which is this street right here, like this is like LeBron's house right here. Like these houses, LeBron can't see it into it because he has this monster house being built right now. But all these other houses off of Tiger Tail that are looking directly towards the Getty Museum are looking at the house as well.
Are you on Google Earth right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Google. What's Google Maps? But it's basically Google Earth. Yeah. All right, cool. Anything else about cons for this house? 6 bedrooms only for a 68.
6 bedrooms. That's $10 million a bedroom. You gotta really love your kids.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Is a family going to be buying this house?
I don't know. Probably not. But I don't know because the buying, the demographic up here is kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Not all over the place as in the amount they can afford because people, it's obviously the 1%.
Yeah.
But the people who are buying it are families.
Yeah.
There are a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of tech people, a lot of people who are in finance, a lot of older people who are in finance who just obviously have made a lot of money and they're buying.
Entertainment.
It's endless.
It's endless. I mean, whoever can afford this. I mean, it's not a lot of people that can afford this house. Obviously, it's just a very small percentage of people that can afford this. But if you can afford this, you're probably looking in other areas like Palisades. You're probably looking at Santa Monica. You're probably looking at Bel Air, Beverly Hills.
I mean, quite honestly, you're probably
Hollywood
looking
Hills.
all over the world.
That's true.
Yeah. It doesn't need
sure.
to be your home base, but yeah, if you're looking in your home base in Los Angeles, it's from Malibu to Bel Air.
I mean, when Jay-Z and Beyonce were looking for a house for like years.
Yeah.
And they finally ended up buying a house in Malibu, but they were looking at houses in Beverly Hills. So you're right. When you get up to this level, it's all about the house.
Yeah.
How does that house make you feel?
Yeah.
And
it's also about how you're selling the house. Because once you're up to this level, you're competing for the buying attention from everyone from Malibu, from everyone from Malibu to Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Because if in the $60 million price point, there's only a handful of houses, ones that are on the market, and a lot of the times these are done off market. And you're not looking for a family who needs to get into a certain school district. No. So you're not competing with this little pocket. You're competing with what LA has to offer.
That's true.
So when you're selling your house, you really gotta compete with the one that's in the same price point on the other side of town.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I think the cons for me: 6 bedrooms, 9.5 bathrooms. Does it need more? I don't know. right?
Yeah.
When they were building it, they were probably looking at a specific buyer, probably not a family, probably a single person or a couple that want a sexy house, right? I'm not saying that's for sure, but that's just kind of based on the house specs.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they probably would have built more bedrooms, right? What else? The driveway.
The driveway is really
not
tough.
a lot of cars can fit in there. I mean, we saw this right here. We saw what? We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars there. Maybe you can fit a few more. So you could probably fit like 15 cars up there, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you can't really see it unless you're there in person, but the steepness of getting up into that road, it's a big hill, you know, and it's going to be tough for any kind of luxurious sports car to get up there safely, unless obviously if you're buying this kind of house, you can make that change. But it's not really just through you, it's through the other people that you're working with to get that road fixed up.
So driveway, not as private. A lot of people looking into your house. I mean, if you had binoculars, you could probably look right into a bedroom from a lot of the houses that are surrounding, and that's really important. You know?
Is. I mean, think about sitting in your pool. If you're sitting in that infinity pool, anyone on Bundy, anyone on Tiger Tail, anyone that's on Travis, Octagon, any of the streets underneath, you're going to be able to see that person hanging out.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to see that party and be able to see what's going on just with some binoculars.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that said, I don't know what type of parties you're going to be able to have that's too influential to the point where security needs to be a problem because there's a lot of eyeballs that can be looking in there.
Yeah.
You know, and the Getty looking down from
I don't
the
know.
north.
I don't know if the Getty can look down to the house. I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah,
And
because of the way the shape of the mountain is. But privacy is an issue.
It's an issue.
Right? And look, if we're talking about location, if you want to get a good view and not have to drive all the way up Tiger Tail to get to Kana or Sky, right? Like those really, really high streets off of Tiger Tail to get that explosive view, that takes you 10 minutes just to get up there with no traffic from Sunset all the way to the top.
Yeah.
This is only a few minutes.
Yeah.
So I think that's also a pro as well. If you want a great view, it's almost like being in Truesdale. You got that straight up street. You got Loma Vista, right? That just goes straight up. Or in the Bird Streets, you got Doheny that goes straight up.
Yeah.
That's why those view properties are more expensive compared to like Sunset Plaza, where you have to go up these windy roads to get that same view, right? So I think that's also a pro.
It is.
A negative, though, is it's off Barrington. So you have to go up Barrington, and then you go up Firth. Barrington is a Waze street now. So people are...
Waze as in W-A-Z-E.
Correct, yes. As in, people don't want to go on Sunset because Sunset is a grid. It's just a gridlock
from, I don't know, depending on what time it is. It keeps
from the
backing
Palisades probably all the way to the 405, right?
And that takes an hour to get from Bundy to the 405.
Bundy to the 405.
Bundy to the 405.
That is like less than a mile.
Oh,
that's like a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile.
So what people do is they drive north up to Benmore Terrace and take Benmore Terrace down. I don't know if you want to show it on the map, but they take Benmore Terrace to Saltaire. Here we go. So right here
they go
is
up,
Sunset.
Yeah, they go up like Bowling Green here. Sorry, this is Bundy. They go up Bundy, then they go to Benmore Terrace, down Saltaire, either across Crescenda to Barrington, right? And then the house is up here, right? So a lot of traffic right in this little area right here.
Yeah. So if you're trying to leave at rush hour, yes, it's better than coming from further west on the Sunset, but it backs up.
Yeah.
And it's tough to get to the 405.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean,
it is what it is.
It is
what it is. I mean, look, there's traffic all over LA, but this is going to be one of the worst spots.
Bottleneck spots.
It's one of the worst spots. So, just know that going into the, into
so when you're going
buying this area. Make sure you watch this video and you understand what the traffic is Monday through Friday from like 3 o'clock until like 7, right? All right, cool. Let's move on because we are taking our time, which is fine. All right, Crescenda,
pros and cons.
What are the pros? I mean, what are not the pros? I mean, this is a freaking amazing house. I love it. This is one of my favorite houses.
It is. I mean, when we first started working this area about a year ago, we looked at this house when we were like kind of doing a map of it. And we were like, what
Yeah,
is this?
yeah.
Who owns this house?
Yeah.
And what's going on? Because if you see everything around it, let's see, we're facing south right now.
Yeah.
So excluded the property you see on the top left of the screen.
Yeah.
And then the other property on the left, excluding these
brand
two.
new construction, yeah.
Yeah, and so is this one on the left. It's a brand new construction. Everything on the right, the lots are smaller, but they pale in comparison to this one. The thing is they don't pale in comparison to everything else in Brentwood.
No.
These are $15 million houses. These are $12 million houses. And they're beautiful houses.
Yeah.
You know, Saltaire here. If you go and look at Chaparral again, and then Crescenda, these houses are selling at $1,500 a foot.
Yeah.
At minimum, because they're flat, they're gorgeous.
Everything here is flat.
Everything here is flat.
Yeah, everything here is flat. I mean, I think this is what makes this area so special and so expensive, is that it's all flat, and you're not in a canyon like you are in Bundy or Bowling Green or even Homewood, which is kind of in a canyon. Not really.
Not really,
but like Mandeville Canyon, so you don't get a lot of light during certain times. You're gonna get sun all day long here. Like there's nothing obstructing the sunlight, you know.
No.
But I mean, the houses on Saltaire, I mean, these houses are going for up to $20, $30 million.
Well, the ones on Saltaire too. Before we get too off track, Saltaire is flat with some views too.
With views looking out to the west.
Yeah.
Correct.
But anyways, the pros of this. Listen, I mean, you have this massive 3-acre flat pad in Google Maps. They put Brentwood Heights right on top of this house.
Yeah.
Because this is legitimately.
This is Brentwood Heights.
This is Brentwood Heights.
This whole house, yeah.
This is like the stereotypical, gorgeous, California, beautiful, amazing home. Obviously, we talked about the two entrances from the north and the south, which is awesome. Unfortunately, which we didn't talk about last time.
Which is what?
The noise on the 405.
Yes, the noise on the 405 from Firth is going to be a lot louder because it's up on the hill, and the noise
even though you're
is
half
gonna
a mile away,
but you're going up, right?
You can hear it.
Let's actually look at that, because I think that's really important to kind of think about is noise, because I don't think Chaparral gets as much noise. It still gets noise.
It's just not as bad.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say bad. I would just say it's definitely apparent.
Yeah. So like right here is Firth, and then this is the 405 right here, and the 405 is a loud freeway.
Yeah.
And you're up above, so you're not like if you're like level with it, you're probably not getting as much noise, right? So this is going to be a lot noisier of a house than Crescenda. What else?
Pros of this one. I mean, it's 20,000 square feet, so it's larger. It has 9 beds, I believe, 8 beds and 13 baths.
Yeah.
So it's bigger. And if this is a family house, which in my opinion, it feels like more of a family house.
For sure.
Because you have the kids and they can do whatever they want in the yard. You know, it's
like we talked about the other house being an entertainer's house.
Yeah.
But this is
an entertainer's house and a resort.
It's a resort.
You know.
That's a great word for it. It is like a resort. You can play basketball, you can play tennis, you can play paddle tennis, you can play soccer. You can probably put like a three par hole here if you wanted to, right? You got the pool house. You got the security entrance over here.
It's completely private.
It's completely private. We haven't talked about that. Like nobody's looking into your house.
And your neighbors that you have are also completely private.
Yeah.
And you are not on the main Barrington. There is a separation between two other estates. That is, it's massively important to have that, because Barrington does, like we said, have that backup traffic.
Yeah.
So Barrington.
That was an important one. You looked at the camera. Yeah.
And then it's surrounded by gorgeous estates. And granted, the other one didn't have neighbors. This one has neighbors, but the neighbors are private, have hedges. They have all guarded, gated stuff. You're in the middle of that guarded, gated stuff, so you're like ultra guarded.
You're surrounded by neighbors, but it feels like you're not surrounded by anything.
Yeah.
Like this is like it's so well hedged, so well gated.
Yeah.
You're walking, like we walk in front of this house all the time, right? Just like canvassing the area, and you can't see the house.
No.
So you have no idea what it looks like. So we're lucky enough to be able to see this house at some point soon here, which is awesome. But this is a special property. I think when it comes to value, I think this property has more value based on the land the flat pad of the land.
Yeah.
Right. It's got over an acre more than the other house. It's flatter. It doesn't have the views, right? So like that, like the other one will beat it tenfold. Like if you're looking for a view house, then Firth is going to be your house.
Yeah, 100%.
But if you're looking for a resort house for a large family to entertain a lot of people, then with a lot of land in a great location, then you can't beat this house.
No.
This is one of the best properties in all of Los Angeles. For sure, a top 2 to 3 property in Brentwood, I would say. Maybe the best. I mean, like Scooter Braun's house, like
we can go through that. But yeah, it's obviously priced to be one of the best. You know, it's not much to look at. I'm sure you can get that online.
Yeah. But I mean, this is the only other property that has sold for this, amount of money.
Let's edit all the names out of that.
Yeah. Look at that. This is an amazing property.
Yeah. Well, pull that up on Google Maps and see what we're looking at.
Yeah. Let's do that. So this is the property here on Mandeville Canyon that sold for 60, how much?
65.
65? Let's see here. Sold for 65 million, yeah. So this one sold for $65 million.
So that's something to consider too, right? So Mandeville Canyon
is further away.
It's further away. This house is up with a flat pad.
Yep.
With views. And that fetched $65 million in the 2021 market, which was the strongest market we've ever seen.
Yep.
So are they going to get the number that they put up? What do you think?
I don't think so. I don't think in this market. Look, I may be wrong, obviously, but right now the market for these types of properties is a little bit slower. I mean, we're seeing that. We're seeing a lot of price reductions for properties over $20 million. With that being said, you never know. You can get one buyer that just falls in love and they'll pay top dollar for it. It's like so I'm going to say it's not going to get full price.
Which one do you think is going to be closer to getting their full asking?
I think the one on Crescenda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there's more buyers for that house than there are buyers for Firth. I think Firth I think the buyer pool for Firth is going to be less people, like people that are looking for something like sexy like that.
Yeah.
So I think the buyer pool for Crescenda, there's more people looking for something like that.
Yeah.
It's the big private resort where they can go home and not be worried about people looking in.
Well, you can't.
You can't look in unless you have a drone, right? It's like it's completely private. And when you're at this level, you want privacy.
Yeah.
Any last comments?
No. I mean, I guess the only thing we could say is that unfortunately we can't share any interior videos of it with you guys. We could do it for one of the properties. The other one, I think it's a little bit more private to get in there and to shoot interior video.
Yeah, I mean, look.
So
we've already shown you all the photos, which you can find online. You've gotten our interpretation of our thoughts on it, its location, the pros and cons, the price, the value, who the buyer may be. I mean, what else can you ask for?
I don't know.
I thought it was a full analysis.
A full offer.
Good job. A full offer. Let's bring him a buyer now.
Bring him a buyer.
Yeah.
There we go.
If you're a buyer, if you're a buyer out there looking for a $68 million house in Brentwood, call the Boys of Brentwood. Call the Boys of Brentwood. And that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.
I would say let us know what you think of this. This is our first thought to do something that's comparing $68 million properties.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have fun doing it. This is the area that we work in. This is the area that we specialize in. Brentwood is kind of our bread and butter. So we had a fun time just kind of going through it.
I loved it, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for the idea.
Let's do it.
If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you want more content like this. We're going to be uploading videos every Saturday now, every week on Saturdays. And let us know what you think, again. And we'll see you later.
You can tell us
Peace
sucked
out.
if you think it sucked.
Peace out.
Either way. Peace
See you
out.
guys later.
All right, guys. Oh, hold on. The B.O.B. I don't think we need the mouth. B.O.B.
All right.
All right.